How are you, Daryl?
I'm doing great, Saber.
How's life?
Oh, life's great.
I love your hat.
Thank you.
Where is it? I'm like, Daryl.
Did Gabe ever got Mama Raccoon out? Remember
No, Mama Raccoon stayed in there.
Stayed in there, okay.
It's so funny to think that,
That
like,
was so funny, oh my god.
or like a month or two later, he gets rabies from us.
Oh my, yeah, I know.
How's he doing with that? He's okay. He walked the rabies. Okay, that's important.
I mean, it's a good size though.
Hi.
Hello.
Good morning. Afternoon.
Good evening and good night.
Good night. How y'all doing?
Are you guys excited for Winnie City PonyCon 2019? Well, I want to thank you all for coming out here. It's Friday. We just got done with opening ceremonies.
Yes.
And we didn't break anything yet.
Yes.
Set Jeremy.
I saw that.
You're gonna have to, you gotta eat it. So
Gotta put your.
make love to it.
I have a friend who holds the microphone like this. Our friend Henry, he like holds it right up like this. It's really uncomfortable for the next person.
And you hear the people of the room.
Well, you could like really like soiree, just be like, hello everybody. How's everyone?
How's it going?
How have you been?
I'm well. How are you?
I was asking that. So, you guys ready to have fun this weekend? Well, welcome in. This is the Bronies React panel. How many of you have never seen Bronies React before? Nice. There goes some of the hands. So by that,
Usually it's the opposite, where that's the amount of people who have seen Bronies React.
and then they all get up and leave once they realize about 5 minutes in what this is. So for those of you that have never heard of Bronies React, or at least never seen it, it's a YouTube series that's been going on for over 7 years now. Yeah. No, I still remember trying to put the first one together. It's just as hard as putting the next one together. So, yeah, no, it's been going on for a while. It's a React series. So what we do is we pull together some familiar faces in the fandom, and yeah, we'll react typically to episodes, big episodes, season premieres, season finales, sometimes movies, you know, stuff in the middle, Quest for Girl stuff. You never really know what we'll be doing next, but apparently something's happening this weekend.
This little thing you might have heard is the season premiere or whatever.
Just a little.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out now. I have avoided trailers. I have avoided
No spoilers, please.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been avoiding everything because I've learned from like season 3 on that. They were like, you know, season 2 finale was so
I
bad.
don't want to spoil anything, but Twilight gets wings.
But I found out on Tumblr about that. Yeah, so, yeah. Now, one thing we're going to be doing for this panel is it's going to be heavily Q&A based. So we have our Q&A mic here, and then stories will kind of just spawn from there. And just to make sure that we try and get through everyone's questions and whatnot, we'll go ahead and open up the Q&A mic here. So if you want to make an orderly line.
We love talking to people.
Yeah,
so don't be shy.
And they can be random questions. They don't have to be like.
Be like, why is Zootopia the worst Disney film?
No, they don't.
Let me answer that for you. Why are rabbits bad characters?
We need a sequel.
Or you can ask about season 9 and Twilight becomes an alien.
Shut up!
Before we start, anybody here who's new to Winnie City, first PonyCon, first convention, welcome. Welcome very much to this convention. We hope you all have a good time. This is a very open, friendly environment. We want to make sure you all feel welcome with your questions. If you guys are more introverts, just want to watch and completely understand.
Yep.
But also don't be shy to ask us legit questions about Bronies React. If you want to ask stupid questions about Bronies React or anything at all, you can be like, why is Rainbow Dash best? Or not best Pokemon?
No.
It works.
I think we call that a Freudian best pony.
That was a great start. I knew this topic would come up.
Wait, she's on opposite day.
So what it usually takes though is that first. Are you wearing bunny ears?
Nice. It's Easter after all.
It is almost Easter.
Someone scared the heck out of me this past week.
Yeah.
Where they said like, yeah, I made this meal for my mom for Mother's Day, and I was like, what?
It was on our. For anyone that doesn't know, we have a podcast on Wednesdays. Anyone here watch the Semi-Perfect Podcast?
Yes.
Cool. And so you already heard the Rainbow Dash debate that was coming from, but that was one of the people who asked us a question on there mentioned
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day, and we all.
Our guts dropped collectively. We're like, did we miss Mother's Day?
Well, I think it was you who made the point that like all the guys in the podcast went.
Our girlfriends are part of the podcast, and they're like, no, you're fine. But yeah, all the dudes are like, oh god, we forgot. Oh, well, before we start officially, Silver Quill, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Silver Quill.
He introduced himself. AC Race Fest. And I'm Travis Park. So yeah, let's start off. Who's looking at that brave soul?
So it always takes the first person.
Imagine this.
Don't be shy to be the first question. We always give bonus points.
It's like in nature where like that penguin hops in the water with the orcas, and the orcas are like, let him go first. We won't get that.
Or when like the little animals run off the cliff.
Leave Angel Buddy out of this.
Hey!
Do you know what those penguins are called?
Lemmings? I'm sorry?
That knock one of them into the water?
They knock him in the water?
Yeah.
What are they called?
They knock the first one. I shouldn't say it over the mic.
Wait, the penguins push the penguins?
Yeah, they
wow.
push the first one in.
That stinks.
I can tell you, but not over the mic.
We'll talk afterwards.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to say, that's a really nice haircut you got. Just a full head of hair. You know?
Everyone's just happy that it's not pink
I'm
anymore.
just
I shave it off for any occasion.
Yeah. No reason to shave them off.
Yeah.
That's right, that was
Never again.
Was that last year?
That was last year.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's
Really?
Yeah.
Donkey penguin is
That
what it
seems
said.
fitting.
Don't be afraid with the microphone with like,
You can
handle it,
move it
whatever,
around.
pull it out.
Talk like a DJ and shit. What?
So I've got like 2 questions. One doesn't actually have to do with Bernie's react.
Good.
Okay, good.
How does it feel to have your Alexa turn on you, AC?
Have what?
Your Alexa turn on you.
Oh.
That was a
So,
Tell the story.
So I was at home with my now wife. For those that don't know, I guess it's gonna be obvious now. I got married over the off season, so yeah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. She's the one who put together our Who's Line for tomorrow, so we'll see what kind of shenanigans she comes up with. But
Destroys us.
yeah, so the story is I didn't know that Alexa had these capabilities of there's like certain things that you just want to ask a robot, and the robot usually goes, I'm not answering that question. Certain types of questions. Well, I did find out this past week that Alexa also will repeat what you say if you set a reminder. And the first test that Sarah used to show me this was she said, Alexa, set a reminder for me that Zootopia sucks. And I didn't know like how this worked exactly, so then a few minutes later, I was in the kitchen and I hear Alexa pop up and go, this is a reminder, Zootopia sucks. And I was just like, what? She said what? Like and yeah, so Alexa. Is she on eBay now? No, she was out the window and on the ground very hard. So yeah, Alexa turned on me. And for anyone that doesn't know, by the way, I'm a mild fan of Zootopia. There's got to be much bigger.
Yeah, a little bit of context for those as this panel progresses. He's a big fan of the movie Zootopia, so hence the jokes with the rabbits. So, what was your other question?
So, Crusaders of the Lost Mark is one of my favorite episodes, and that react made me cry. But
It was that bad, huh?
I cried for everything, so it could have been that good, it could have been that bad. But at the end, with like everybody hugging and crying on Michelle Creeper, how did you guys organize that? Were you just like, hey, we're just gonna come on you and cry, or like was it just spontaneous, like you ran
You
into
just
her?
found her by yourself, we all just ran at it.
It was all spontaneous, no planning at all. Actually,
I wasn't part.
you were, so
Now,
were.
BronyCon in 2018 or 17?
Yeah, I think
It was 2017.
17.
Yeah, we're friends with Michelle, and our buddy Latin Griffin, Gabe, works with her, or he worked with her. So,
We're like, Michelle, let's do a gag. Are you cool? Down for this? She's like, let's do it. And that's, for those who don't know, Michelle Creeper is the voice of Apple Bloom. She was one of the main characters in an episode. And all the bronies were like coming out of the woodwork, like giving her a hug. Isn't that the...
That was that was perfect pair.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What am I thinking of?
It's okay. We cried at both.
Wait a second, you're talking about perfect pair, right?
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
But yeah,
that's also okay.
so what we did was we all got together at BronyCon and did this huge hug sequence. And I, to give credit, I think it was Little Shy who first approached me with, we got to do something.
Yeah.
And then we all kind of came together with this idea of, oh my gosh, we need to just ham this finish up with all of us getting together. And then of course, because Michelle was there, we're like, oh, we could go all out with this. And Michelle, being Michelle, was cool with it. Like, oh yeah, let's do it.
I think my favorite part is you have all the different characters from Bernie's React showing up to give her a hug, a big group hug. And then there's just this random guy who's like, that looks fun, and he just walked over.
And you see the moment in it where he's like part of it, and then sees the camera and is like, it starts backing up like, I shouldn't be here. I remember hearing Dusty Cat in that hug. I didn't know what was going on because I was somewhere in the middle of it, and hearing Dusty go, no. Like pushing people away, stopping them like flies, like, no way.
And he's talking Big Macintosh to him.
Nope. So yeah, but that was a lot of fun to get everyone together for that, and it honestly, I feel like created one of the more iconic moments of Brony's React. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, thanks very
Hello.
much.
Thank you.
Hello.
First off, AC Race Fest, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Filmer Brony. I'm one of your new subscribers on YouTube.
Oh, thank you.
And it's a pleasure to meet you and Save the Spark as well. And I'd like to say that congratulations on your rating.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thanks for subscribing to me before Saber Spark too.
You're quite welcome. Second of all, how do I participate in the Brony's React series?
Oh yeah, wait, this question.
This is always, and I always enjoy this question because I'm flattered that a lot of people ask the same thing. So with Brony's React, when I first created it, it was without the intention of it even being a series. It was just going to be like, hey, this will be a one-off video, a joke parodying the Fine Brothers video about MLP and the people who watch it. Once we made it a series, I liked the idea of having some regulars on the show and then also having some kind of one-off characters or people that'll show up from time to time. And yeah, like essentially it all started with the basis of working with friends, and I've luckily had the opportunity to continue doing that. But as far as when people ask like what helps get someone on a Brony's React, is I always go back to making an impact. Whether it's, it doesn't just have to be with videos, it could be with music, it could be with art. The idea of impacting the community, I always enjoy getting people that others can look and be like, oh, this is what this person looks like, or what they're doing when they're not doing their regular shtick, and just kind of joking around and joining us, and so yeah, like making an impact, and it doesn't just have to be like, oh, community-wide, or it's not a popularity contest by any means, but there's also like, just making an impact on me, and like one of the groups that I can reference this is Fireteam Harmony. We met them at Pacific BronyCon the first year that convention happened, and they were just walking around, just goofing on everything.
For those who don't know, those are the guys who have like pony-themed like Master Chief armor.
Yeah, at least one person in a Halo Derpy cosplay walking around.
Yep.
And so they, like, in that particular instance, I'd never seen any of their work, any of their videos. It was just seeing them walking around, just being jokesters at the convention. Like, at one point they walked up for the VA panel that we were hosting, and they asked a question, and then as Andrew Lemon and Peter New and a couple others answered their question, they turned around to leave, and they turned to each other and go, "Who were those people?" And it was just, but it was so funny, like, it was just like that genuine, like, well, we don't know what we're doing, but here we are. And yeah, Saber and I kind of looked at each other and went, we got to get these guys on Bronies Draft, and it's been stuff like that, you know, but I've had so much fun working with everybody. So, long-winded answer to your question, but I just make content, make stuff, and you never know where it'll lead you.
Build yourself up as a creator, and let your own merit speak for yourself, and there's a chance, and it's not like I can't speak for you.
Well, it's not like, because some people ask, how many subscribers do I need to be on Bronies Draft? And I don't go, no, I'm sorry, you're not at the cutoff line.
He's a bouncer at a club. He's like, your name's not on the list.
That's what we have Justin for.
So keep making content. What's your channel? What do you make?
Well, my YouTube channel is Filmabrony22X.
Okay, what kind of content do you do?
Well,
or is planned?
Well, so far I did a voice video for Snails.
Okay.
Which, speaking of which, I have another question.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the other background characters, Snips and Snails?
Oh yeah. Of course.
I weep when I see them.
They kind of disappear, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, Snails ended on a high note at least. He had that Zen.
Oh yeah.
All season.
I was like, did I miss an episode where he dies?
You were my brother! But keep making content, keep growing, and we'll see where things go. And that applies for anybody, so
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
I will do it at the very best of my ability.
Hey, we look forward to it.
And third of all, since I did a voice reel for Snails, Snails have a question for you.
Okay.
In your episode Flutter Brother, what was Fluttershy's reaction of Zebra Breeze moving in?
This is a quiz.
Super cool, you take this one.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. I think he was just trying.
Thank you for your question. That's the line. That's what
Thank you.
Say. Thank you.
I didn't know you were a voice actor.
No more questions. We have to move to the next person.
I've been told I have a
But
face
you
for
feel
radio.
free to get back in line.
That'd be all.
You can get back in line if you like to, but let's keep it moving. Okay.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Random question.
Good.
It is weird and random.
All right.
What do you think is in that temple?
I was thinking the same thing.
Aladdin's lamp.
I think it's the ultimate deep dish pizza.
Oh, yes.
Oh my
The
goodness.
deep dish pizza to end all deep dish pizzas. Golden crust and everything.
Well, we're close to Chicago, so I hope that's the case.
So then, now I'm hungry. Thanks for that.
And if you steal it, you're gonna get ran over by a meatball.
You have a spaghetti, noodle. I like that. Thank you.
Just a random thought.
I love it though.
No, I mean, I'm glad someone brought this
Yeah,
up.
someone mentioned
So, hello?
Hi.
Race,
Yes.
do you have a Nick Wildock?
Oh my god.
I do not.
Do you know that there is a vendor next door who has one for sale?
Oh boy, just what I need.
One Rocky Makara for Winnie City.
See,
One small. That's on this
see, I think that's the benefit of getting married, right? Is that now
The only benefit.
Sarah has, she'll just accept everything that I Yeah? So, I'll have to check it out. I'm excited about this weekend. It's been a good weekend, everybody.
So like Steve there for a second.
Always.
Mr.
And sort of serious Bronies React question.
Okay.
With season 9 looming as the final season, are you guys worried at all about not having content for Bronies React? I mean,
Man.
I don't
You're right
think
there.
you're in the room, but
I mean, it's a legit question, and it's something that, I mean, as we know, season 9 is the last season of Generation 4 of My Little Pony.
The My Little Pony is not going anywhere as a franchise. It's one of Hasbro's big bullets, along with Transformers and G.I. Joe, where they're going to go, okay, let's just do it over again and release another generation. So, ponies won't go anywhere. But G4 coming to an end, personally, I'm like, let it go out with dignity. Let it finish with good. If I can get a good conclusion, I'll be like, I'm good here. Thank you. Versus SpongeBobbing or Simpsons, where it goes on forever.
Or Family Guy.
And in regards to Bronies React, when we do the react to the season 9 finale, there's what?
I'm laughing because we're gonna have stuff to react to forever. I guarantee there's gonna be a video where it's Bronies react to Saber Spark dying. There's gonna be our time we're gonna be I knew that this would be the season. You'll little toupee, little Judy Plus, these little
of all the things that you could have brought up.
Never mind.
I love the vision of people holding up swords as he dies. It's like the saber in his mind. There can be only one.
He choked on a meatball.
Didn't make it out of the temple of Medivh.
It's what he would have wanted. I keep derailing things. I apologize.
No, but essentially, I was going to say that there's no intention for Bronies React to end after the season 9 finale. At the same time, it's not something where I'm like, oh, we'll milk this forever. But I don't see us being done with the franchise yet. And again, who knows what's to come in the future? If there is, if Gen 5 that comes out whenever, I don't see why. The beauty of Bronies React is that if it's really good, then it's fun. If it's really bad, it's even more fun. so no matter what, I feel like we're gonna go into Generation 5, which I guess I'm talking out of speculation for a Gen 5.
It will happen. We're not sure when, but Hasbro, they follow them. There will be a generation. That's like Disney not continuing Star Wars.
So
people are calling for that.
Start over right now.
Although, if we ever reach the point of Bronies React to paint drying,
you'll have to be part of it.
Too many Pinkie Pies.
I thought you said paint drying. I want Pinkie Pie just on a towel.
Shrivels up in that one.
Too many Bronies React.
But yeah, no, I mean, definitely, there's more that I feel like we never even touched season 2 premiere, anything in season 1 because the series wasn't around yet. So I'd say that there's still stuff that we can have fun with. Plus, there's a lot of Equestrial stuff that I haven't even seen yet because I've been waiting. In the event that we do a react.
There's a lot of backlogs.
And so yeah, I hope that answers your question. But as the season does come to an end and Generation 4 comes to an end, I think there's still more fun we can have with Bronies React.
Thank you.
Hello.
So, on the topic that Race brought up a minute ago of art and making an impact in the fandom. Curious, for all of you guys, is there a particular piece of art or artist that you can think of who has made an impact in your life, whether that be an artist or a piece of art in the fandom or outside of the fandom, and whether it affected you in or out of fandom, just in your life? Something that has influenced you in content or in personal life?
Oh yes. There's an artist named Harwick. Does really great artworks, and there's a piece he made called One Last Parade. This was in season 2, well, he made it during season 2's airing. It's Twilight, very elderly, riding on the back of a full-grown Spike with Princess Celestia watching over her, and the whole of Ponyville is ready to witness her because it's very strong implication this is her last parade. And this, I found this on my birthday.
Happy birthday.
I felt like I was watching that episode of Metalocalypse. You're running out of life. Happy birthday. I'm kidding. But I looked at this and I realized, wait a minute, I'm actually feeling really sad about this. If these were characters I didn't care about, this would just be something. Meh. But no, this was having an impact. It was sort of the realizations that I really had become a fan of the show because this had meaning.
Yeah.
And then you went, oh no.
It's like, oh god, I'm a brownie.
Yeah. Steve Harvey's sitting somewhere going, you're what?
My social life is over. Oh wait, it's not existent.
So you have nothing to lose. Oh man, do you have an answer for that?
Again, within the fandom or outside of fandom.
There was a picture that elicited a pretty big emotional reaction for me. Like, I actually was like super emotional about it. Where it was of Applejack. We know of Applejack and, you know, like her family and everything. Well, it was Applejack, but it was just her head with 4 legs sticking out of it. So, and I was like, at that moment, I knew I wanted to be a brownie. And it was a gif where it's a spider walking around with Applejack's head and going cross-eyed. I was like, I don't want to destroy this fandom.
Yeah, I remember that too, less pleasantly than that.
As far as actual, like, I'm bad at these kind of questions because it's like, I can think of one thing out of it.
Well, even just an artist, is there someone who has like influenced your life? Like, it doesn't even have to be like visual art, like music or like something like that.
Pinkie Pie Swear made some great music where I was like, I like this music. I want to see where this fandom goes.
Nice.
And it was a really cool sound. Because like, I'll derail this conversation, so I won't go into it. But yeah, like there was, I don't know. Yeah, the music side of the fandom spoke more volume to me. Where I was like, I love this. This is so pretty to listen to. So much talent. And yeah, I was like,
at the risk of giving a unnecessary plug, if you like the Applejack Spiderhead, you should go see Sky Railroad. Ask to see the Rainbow Dash water bottle. It's terrifying.
Yeah, right? I'm gonna say that an artist that has made a big impression on me is my wife. So
now your real answer.
Nice
wow. I'm actually similar to you. Like, I've seen a lot of great art. The problem I sometimes hit is that I won't always realize whose art I'm looking at until, like, if I see something that's familiar a few times and go, oh, who's this artist? But on the music side, like you said, especially when things were younger with the fandom, is like 2013, 2012. What's funny is that a lot of the musicians were the people that I got to know before I even met like Saber and a lot of the YouTuber people that I now call really good friends. And Silver, I like you too. But yeah, and some of that music, like to this day, like I'll still be foot bumping at work to Alex S music and being like, yeah.
Sunshine, Celery Stalks.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I mean I still use a lot of Alex's music and some videos and same with of course like Loyalty was probably my favorite song, you know, doing like with the acoustic Brony and then getting to know Ed and Jimmy and whatnot. So yeah, I mean that's been the cool journey with all this is being able to meet all the people too. That it's like, oh wow, that's why I love these conventions, by the way.
Pony got lucky because there was a bit of like a creative renaissance on the internet around like 2010, 11, 12.
Yeah.
Where like there was more editing software available, there was more content available to mess with, like, you know, I can rip the clip from the internet.
YouTube wasn't evil back then?
It was on its way. It was like, it's kind of like a possessed doll, where it's like, I can see a demon in your eye.
YouTube has this would be different.
Yes, we'll talk about.
So,
We have a howdy YouTube panel on Sunday. We'll talk about.
Yeah, and it also involved random questions too. Hello.
Hey guys, so I had a long question, but there was nobody behind me at the time, so I'll see if you can get sorted out down. Question is how do you choose what episodes and what kind of process do you go through to make these Brony Reacts videos? I take it getting all the videos from the other people are the longest thing to get.
So as far as what episodes, again, it's based on impact. We knew in advance when Perfect Pair was coming out that was going to be something that we were going to be reacting to. There have also been episodes. I'm trying to think of specifics, but like we know we're going to do the premiere, we know we're going to do the finale, and then whatever we can work with in the middle.
If it's season, it's a lot. I really do. I think it's going to be at least 3 episodes that are going to be like worthy of recognition.
We're probably going to be busy. And always a good indicator for me is like Saber will call me up and be like, we're going to have to react to this one. Because I usually see them like a day later, and if I know I'm going to react to it, I filmed my stuff on the first showing. So as far as the process goes, for example, for the premiere, which will be very interesting, because again, I'm trying to avoid spoilers, and I'm at a convention, la 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 la. So what I do is I'll go home, I'll film myself watching, I'll do my whole thing, and then right after that, that'll also give me an idea of what questions do I want to ask, if there's any additional questions that I'd like to ask for the bonus. I'll put those into a format, I'll send them out to everybody, and usually about 2 to 3 weeks later I'll have most people's footage, and then I have to fish for other people's footage. And then it's a couple weeks worth of editing to get everything right. And one thing that I really started working on because I kind of let it get crazy was how long the Bronies Reacts were getting, and I went, okay, I hit my threshold, so I got to cut it back. And I just think the tighter editing makes them better anyway. So it's something that's something that I was also working on more, but and then Bronies React shows up.
Do you keep all those reaction videos, or do you like once you're done making a video, you kind of delete them, or do you have like a spare?
I don't necessarily delete them, but I have lost probably the first half because of a hard drive that fell off the table. So yeah, so that happens. But yeah, so that's really the process.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Hello.
Hi. So what was your guys' big break on YouTube, like when you got a massive sub booster, got a ton of popularity?
Good question. Silver, let's hear you.
Well, in my case, I'd already gotten a bit of a name for myself on DeviantArt. One day I went to bed with like maybe 100 activity messages. I posted a comment, like, yeah, no big deal. I wake up and the activity level shot up to 1,000. Did I log into the right account? Equestria Daily had featured it, and the numbers just kept going. So I kind of had a base for when I launched the YouTube.
What year was that for you?
Oh, that was just before season 4 started, so 2015?
Okay.
I'm bad with dates. 14. All right. So,
thank you. I always love when people ask us date questions, but they know the answer. They're like, yeah, we'll help you out.
So they ask you a date question. So where does he want to go? He wants to go for Italian. But in terms of break, I lucked out that at the time, Digibro was working on Equestria Daily, and he was trying to give a boost to reviewers. So my content got featured. I can't say there was like a huge explosion at one moment, but it was a very steady progression.
All right. For me, it was. It kind of came in steps. The first big video that I did was a music video thing that I wrote up. So it was a parody to Like a Boss, and instead it was Like a Faust, but I mispronounced her name the entire thing and went Like a Faust. like an boss.
Like an idiot.
Shut up, Saber. But anyways, that video was the first thing to get on Equestria Daily, which a friend of mine said, "Hey, it's on Equestria Daily. Good job." And I went, "What's Equestria Daily?" But yeah, I mean, like that means in regards to like the first big jump in views, like, oh cool, this video did well, and then I released another one that did decent. You know, it was like, okay, cool, 10,000 views, awesome, great. But subscriber-wise, jump was the first Bronies React. When I hit upload on the first Bronies React, I had 167 subscribers total. That was it. So it's a miracle that I even got anyone to really work with me on that one, but they had faith in the project, and here we are today. So yeah.
I've had a couple of bumps as well, because like I had an era where I stopped making pony content directly and started making just general cartoon reviews. So, but for Pony, it's funny, Equestria Daily was a really big part of that early on, because I made a documentary, quote unquote, a class project called Battle of the Brony. Thank you. It was just for a school project about what are bronies. I made that back in like 2011. And then I got into the fandom after that and made pony content from like 2011 to around like 2014, late 14. And I gained around 60,000 subscribers around that time. For the record, I want you all to know, because I know I get this question a lot. A lot of people are like, I only have 10 subscribers. So did I at one point. You have to start somewhere, right? Never be down on yourself for only having that many people. It is a process. It takes time. It takes time for you to know your audience, know your content, and you will get there. If you are driven and you want to go there, you will get there. But please, do not be down on yourself for only having like, I only have this amount of people. Because they still are people, and they support you. I remember my first subscriber, the coolest thing ever, because I made a YouTube poop video of Lord of the Rings back in like 2009, and his name was, geez, what was his name? Like, he had a profile picture of like a Predator from like Alien vs. Predator, and I made the video, and I got a comment from him, and he was like, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen."
Subscribe.
No. And I was like, no, like 5 views, and it was so devastated. And then a week later, he left another comment. He's like, "Just want you to know, my family and I love it now. We're at dinner table, quoting the YouTube poop. We love it." I'm like, yeah! Oh, you subscribe. That was like one of the most meaningful things to me. It's like Scrooge McDuck's first dime, where it's like, mwah. So, but basically, Battle of the Brony Chronicles. I stopped in 2014. Around 2015, I started making general cartoon reviews. I started a series called What Ruined, the What Ruined Cartoon Network. So that was a massive jump where it kind of breathed new life to my channel. And last I looked, I'm sitting around, I think, 720,000 subscribers. So, which is really freaking cool. So I want to share with you all because, again, like it's not like I stumbled along the way. It was like a tree with the opposite direction I fell up it, I suppose. But yeah, it was cool. That was neat to see things grow, see the little bar up and down. Yep.
All right, thank you. Hello.
So this is a question for any of you regarding Zootopia. So
next question.
No.
So suppose there was a hypothetical like Zootopia 2.0. What would you like to see in that if it was like remade?
Be honest.
But not like a
I want to see them hold hands.
How lewd.
I didn't say who. What do you want to see, Silver, in the Zootopia sequel?
In the Zootopia sequel, I suppose I should rule out Nuclear Armageddon, which is my default.
Fallout.
I'd like to see Asian Hobbs just look at the camera and say, "What the heck's a Dakimakura?"
He's an Asian Hobbs.
Okay, but realistically, because I too greatly enjoyed Zootopia. I think there's this great culture. Who designed Zootopia? I don't mean like the creative stuff in our world. I mean, is there an architect who has to consider every single need and whose needs get prioritized in that construction? And are there groups that have to advocate for better recognition and better attention in this design of this very intricate city? That would be an interesting conflict to explore.
So some like origin kind of the city.
Maybe, but not a prequel. It's like the officers have to investigate into this conflict.
Oh, interesting.
So you can flesh out the backstory but keep moving forward.
Okay.
I'm done with prequels.
I don't know.
Where do the predators get their food?
Whole Foods.
They eat fish and bugs and protein. Bugs.
Well, welcome to Soylent Zootopia.
Oh my god.
I don't know what I want to see. It's a really cool universe, like to present like the intricacies of the city and how it operates, and you can tell that the folks who made this movie really put a lot of passion into it. And it's so cool to see like an original property. Like this wasn't on a book, correct me if I'm wrong. It was an original idea that they developed and they grew, and it just worked. Beautiful story, beautiful characters, everything about it rocks. So I'd love to see continue. I'm not sure how. I dig the buddy cop, dynamic. So I want to still see that. I want to see more of the city, but like I'm not a writer. I'll leave it to the professionals. I hope it's good. That's all I hope, because there's the idea of like, what if they did a TV show? Because Tangled has Tangled Forever After, or Tangled the series. Which did anybody watch that at all? It's good. I recommend it. It's pretty. But like, I guess Utopia 2. I see it happening. They broke a billion. They all happen. Not sure how.
Yeah, I am a huge advocate for Judy and Nick's relationship.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I really don't see it though. Especially right now.
Especially right now. On this panel. No. So I'd love to see how their friendship blossoms into
an awesome
more than a friendship. Yes. Well, it's so funny because I always see like when people are like, no, why is it that friends in movies always have to get romantic? And I'm like, well, that's usually a good start for a romantic relationship. Is starting as friends. It's like I made a joke once where I'm like, do these same people who complain about, oh, they always have to get together romantically, like, are they at a wedding and be like, well, why couldn't they have just stayed friends? All right, send Barry, I'll get him out of here.
Why are the carpet from Aladdin and Abu just friends? I don't get it.
So I definitely want to see their relationship progress to the next level. And I feel like there's a lot they can do with that too, being that they're different species. So I think that would be awesome. So yes. Yeah, thank you for asking a Zootopia question.
All right. So I was just curious. Have you guys ever heard a pun so bad, like the worst pun ever, that even you had to groan at it?
Do you know who you're talking to?
I know you were a pun, but was there ever one that bad?
Yes.
Yes, said by me.
You made yourself just.
I made them. Okay, I'll take it straight from last night.
Oh.
I was working on setting up the stall, and my friends were talking, and the phrase circumcision came up.
Oh.
And I said, you're talking about circumcision? Cut it out. See? The worse it is, the better.
Some kids are like,
circumcision. I was at a convention with these 4 dry. I always find that people who puns have dry humor. Dry sense of humor. And I was stuck in a car with 3 of them who just had a pun off where it was like one to the other to the other. I felt like I was going to die. My eyes were rolling in the back of my head where I felt like the veins breaking off. So I'm not smart enough. I'm not clever enough to do puns. That's very quick-witted, dry humor. So that's why we have Silver here on Who's Line with us today. You all grown in the audience.
The fact that I unintentionally broke Charlie during opening ceremony.
Unintentionally.
I'm sorry, but I'm not.
Thank you for your question. Wow, puns.
I think we have about 14 minutes left or so we still got time to talk.
Still doing good. Anyone? Yeah. Hello.
Hi, I'm Anime Guy 01 on Twitter. I very much enjoy your podcast.
Thank you so much. We enjoy your cookies.
And I want to ask, what's the biggest event you're looking forward to this weekend that doesn't involve you hosting it?
Does Deep Dish Pizza count? Because that's exciting.
The ultimate deep dish pizza.
Man, the only reason I say that, by the way, is this is like one of my favorite food locations as far as like conventions go.
Midwest.
Live on Ice is the best.
What's that?
Live on Ice is the best.
I gotta say though, I always love it when I see New Yorkers get into it with people from the Midwest with pizza. Because like, I grew up in Georgia, so we know nothing about pizza. So it's funny when like, because I have a friend who's a New Yorker, and he's like, yeah, that's not pizza, it's pie. It's lasagna. And Chicago people are like, what'd you say? What'd you say? I'm like, fight. I'll take both slices. It's cheese and tomato, oh, bread. But one of my favorite things about the conventions, just walking around and seeing everything. Go to the gaming room, go to the vendor hall, go to the tabletop stuff, see people having fun. I love seeing people having fun and having a good time. Poker having random panels, because we've been doing this, like, we're blessed enough to be able to be on stage right now talking with y'all, having kind of like a really cool spot in these conventions, in the convention circuit of like getting our panels, usually accepted and stuff like that, which is really cool. But it's really also genuinely nice to go out and see people just having a fun time doing their own panels, poking our heads in there, and just seeing them like laughing and enjoying themselves. So I kind of like to do people watching during these conventions and being like, let's see what people are up to.
Yeah, and plus, like one of my favorite things about these conventions is just meeting you guys.
Yeah.
Like in a interactive. Seriously though, like it means a lot to us. I mean, you guys are here and joining in and having fun with us and hearing the stories and whatnot. It's that's a big deal to me. I also heard, by the way, if you're asking about a specific panel, did you hear that there is an M.A. Larson appreciation panel?
Is there actually?
Yeah.
Is he here?
No.
Thank God.
Maybe they can Skype it.
Yeah. But also as a serious answer, I'm excited. I won't get into detail because of the nature of this convention, but I'm excited about the later night vendor hall. So just because I'm like, wow.
And that's that. What about yourself?
What about Silver Club?
Well, I'm kind of conflicted because one, I really want to attend your How to YouTube panel, but I'm in the vendor hall, so I don't know if I can get there.
We'll film
take the table. He's selling stuff through it.
Where's his table? In the back. What's up, dude?
One last question for the three of you guys.
Okay.
With Generation 4 coming to an end, as well as the last season of the series, how do you guys feel about Generation 5, and what are your opinions about their designs?
Those designs aren't confirmed as far as I know.
Yeah, those are a lot of concept art got leaked online. It was various versions of them, which I like seeing because it's fascinating. Who here bought the art of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, the movie? Oh, okay.
My girlfriend did.
One hand in the back. It's fascinating to just flip through and see the sketches they made for all these creatures, because it looks nothing like was actually in the movie, but it was a start. And I love seeing the creative process inherent to those.
Yeah.
But nothing's written in stone. And one of the very curious things about a fandom is people love to get mad about something that hasn't happened.
We are very ready to roll. How dare you!
Making this about the United States being the thing. They're like, how dare they? They won't last.
Here, free tea! But they won't last. Dang it, they got bigger. But no, the concept thing, that is so true. It's so neat, going back to old Disney films and seeing what they originally started off with. Because rarely will that be the final product. You see them change clothes and designs and height and everything. You see some core things where, okay, I see the idea. I see where you all are going with and how it evolved. So that being said, with the concept that's out, we're not even sure if it's real or not. It might be okay, this is ground zero, this is what they're working with, we'll see where it goes. But I will watch the show. Again, I'm pretty sure they'll do it G5 and probably go. We're not going back to the old days where it's like, Pinkie Pie, banging their head against the chimney.
but on that note, same with having the Zootopia art book and seeing what the characters looked like at one point. It is so different from what it ended up being.
Didn't they basically say, this doesn't work? and threw in the trash.
Yeah. The story itself developed like 8 months before the movie.
That's like unheard of.
Yeah, and then I was also going to say though, one thing that's interesting at Disneyland, they have this huge room devoted to animation.
I love this room, by the way. And if you go to Disneyland, you've got to check it out.
Yeah, and it's this huge animation room, and they show concept art, and like seeing some of the concept art for like Frozen.
Yes.
Before it came out,
Elsa was supposed to be so straight up evil, this evil queen, and then they were like, wait a second, let's change the story and make her more of a sad story.
So who knows what we're gonna get? I just hope it's not too far down the line. That's my biggest hope for it. Is I'm like, give it 2 years and then show up. Yeah. So that's my biggest wish is that it just doesn't take too long to get here. So yeah, thank you for your question.
You're welcome. That'll be all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi there, I'm Becky.
Hi.
Yes. I wondered if you could tell us about the origin story of Brony's React.
The origin story of Brony's React.
How it happened, how it started.
Yeah, so again, there's a YouTube channel by the Fine Brothers where they make reaction videos. It started out as just like, hey, we're gonna make reactions, and then they started making, oh, well, what if we, these kids react were huge because they had kids reacting to stuff happening online that the kids would have an opinion about, and it was hilarious. So then they decided, what if we branch this into having teens react to stuff? And one of the topics that they had them react to was the fandom. Was, hey, let's have them react to My Little Pony, and specifically the guys that are watching it. And all they showed them was the intro of the episode, the intro of an episode, and that was it. It was just the opening sequence.
I was angry about that. Like, that's it?
That's it? Yeah. So of course the opinions started flowing, and the questions of, well, why do you think older men are watching this show? And the teens were very opinionated about that. And I know that a lot of people in the fandom at the time were like, well, this really sucks, like this makes us look really bad. And I don't know what it's like, just something, at some point, sometimes I'll just get these random ideas, and I was like, what if we reacted? What if Bronies reacted to their reaction of us? Hey, that'd be kind of funny. And so I ran with it and started contacting people. Again, I wasn't big on YouTube. I had some content that people could at least look at and say, okay, he's a YouTuber, or whatever. But I talked to a number of the people I talked to either turned it down or were good and then decided not to do it. But I ended up with a group of 6 guys to join me on this Bronies React, including Denotive and Dusty Cat and the Living Tombstone and Solrak, as a cartoon pony on that episode. But it was all meant to just be a parody. Like I told everybody when we were making it, I'm like, guys, the biggest thing that I don't want us to try to do is actually set out to make a point. I don't want us to be like, no, that's not what we do, no this, because if you go out on the internet to defend yourself, it's gonna backfire.
Yep.
So I'm like, let's just have fun with it. Let's just laugh about it and do whatever you guys want to do. And we had fun with it, and oh man, did that thing explode. And I never anticipated that it would get the viewership. I did expect that there'd be people that would hate on it, and a lot of those people showed up too. But seeing the support it got from the fandom, and it was just fun. It was just fun to do, and I loved making people laugh, so that was the basis of the whole thing. And it was a success, so we said, hey, let's keep making them. So that was how Bronies React got started.
Thank you.
I really love you guys with Whose Line Is It Anyway? That's how I got to know you and every single one, so I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Hello.
So have the Fine Bros rated your home for using your trademark word?
We're talking.
Yeah. Saber.
Yes.
You make a lot of videos that rely on some really obscure information and just obscure things that, like the topic itself.
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't. How do you find like the information and?
I'm very much so legit. I'm just constantly scattered brain. So putting me on the internet, it's like, look at everything.
So just a lot of Googling.
Yeah, just YouTube Googling, just falling down the rabbit trail. What do they call it?
Rabbit
hole.
Where rabbits making holes.
Alice in Wonderland. Yeah.
Just getting distracted and go off on random tangents. Because I found one recently actually called Ronald the Barbarian. And, well, no, to be fair though, I get like dozens of emails every day. Folks are like, oh, you should check this out. So it's kind of cool to go through their suggestions. And there's one called Ronald, not Ronald, Ronald the Barbarian. And this guy, the person that emailed me saying, this is the weirdest kid movie we've ever seen. And I turned it on and they're dropping the F-bomb. And I'm like, that's not a kid's movie. Like, it's not. So I have to review this. So yeah, just kind of throw out a very wide net and see when I pull back in. All right. Thanks you.
Thank you. All right, so we're here. I see two people.
Should we cut off questions at this point? Like,
Yeah,
with you two,
we'll get these last two questions in. And yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
So I was wondering, for Burn Trek, has there ever been an episode that you want to do but haven't done yet for whatever reason?
The immediate one that comes to mind, and it was just because of timing. I think we were literally working on 3 Bronies Reacts at the same time. So it was just like, yeah, we can't add any more to the list. Was the cheese sandwich episode?
Oh yeah.
Because that was one that.
You must.
Well, we might have some time coming up, so who knows? But yeah, so that was the biggest episode. That was while the series was happening. That got a lot of requests, and like I said, it was just a time thing. I was like, I physically can't add another one to the list because it would just push everything further back. So yeah, that was probably the episode that I'd say.
And final question. Hello. Hello.
Hi. I'm here with my son, and he's a little shy. He wanted to ask you guys if there is a possible way to get into the Rift. I think it is.
Oh yeah.
Is there? I'm asking you.
Is there a way?
Into the my ears are
into the Reacts series?
No, the Rift.
Oh, the Rift Cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Rift. Sorry, I obviously heard the one.
What's the? This might be. I'm dense. What is it?
Oh, this is when doing review videos for My Little Pony started to really gain momentum. Someone came up with the idea of having the Rift Cafe. It's like if every YouTube channel is its own dimension, the Rift is between them all, and everyone gathers there to hang out. To join, at one point, all it was you had to make 3 review videos, and you'd be invited. It's fragmented since then. The reviewer YouTube sub-community is not this gestalt where everyone gets along. There are little groups over here, groups over there, conflicting egos. I know, egos on YouTube.
They go my ego.
Oh, no!
No way.
I think the best thing to do if you want to join in any creative endeavor is to create.
Yeah.
Is to do videos and just put your best self out there. But with the caution that it's the internet and you need to be careful. That's always the unspoken rule that needs to be spoken more often. Be careful, especially with online.
It's so different compared to I grew up I was like that generation that grew up playing outside, but also could come inside and play with on the computer. Where it's like, hey, go on to AOL and play some stupid games. The internet again around 2010 and 11 became more broad and available for people to check out and use. And there was time before that leading up to it when people embarked on Newgrounds. But now it's so available. You're growing up in a generation where you have a computer and a phone everywhere,
right there.
which is also really big for the parents to have to watch out for them. It's just a brave new domain and world, and if you're cautious about it, it can be a great experience. But Slippery said, it takes a bit of just be prepared, communication, and also a bit of I don't know, there will be jerks on the internet. My comments, I had a video that reached over 1 million views. I'm like, oh, look at the comments this time. Oh my gosh, they're mean. And
I meant every word that I said.
How dare you? I feel the kids are kind of put in this perspective. I truly feel like humans, we do this thing where we invent things we're not quite ready for yet. They're mentally. And the internet's one of those things, and it's we're now on fast track to can you learn? Can you grow up fast enough to be wise and patient enough to understand what you're dealing with? And also let me say one last thing, we'll end this. You will always have people hate you for you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's okay. As long as you love yourself, as long as you are comfortable with yourself,
and the people in your life who mean the most to you love you and watch your back, that's all that matters. If some random Joe Schmo on the internet, it's like, hey, I hate you. It's like, who cares? You make an art that you love, cool. That's all that matters.
Just have fun.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all. Yeah, you have fun with your content. Everybody, thank you for joining us for the Brony Track panel. We hope you have a great rest of your Winnie City PonyCon 2019.